I'm WCIA3 meteorologist Jacob Dickey. We're back on our digital platforms. It sounds like we're going to be cutting back in shortly for our severe weather coverage. We're planning at 2:45 with Troy in the back, just so I hear some production folks back there. This warning goes until 3 o'clock. The area of rotation continues to be north of Virginia and will continue to move off to the east and northeast as far as it goes here in central Illinois. So we're watching it and keeping an eye on it. Okay, perfect. Just getting some information out there. One tornado warning. We're planning at about 2:45 to do a couple-minute cut-in. So if you guys are behind the scenes organizing that, you can talk to me, and that'll be when we move through the region. So we're on our digital platforms now. We'll be jumping back on TV here. Cass County, one of our fringe areas. Of course, this storm, a Menard County gets there. If they extend the warning, we'll go back to TVs for extended coverage here and have to do some boxes and whatnot. But as we watch this storm, it showed some rotation earlier on, about 220, 225. I haven't seen anything to indicate that this storm would likely be extended. We haven't had any reports. We have not had any information from the National Weather Service shared, just this tornado warning that came out today and has popped on in for Cass County, now north and east of Virginia. I think Virginia proper, if you have a Virginia city address, we're in the clear here. North and east of Virginia, less concerned. That's what we're going to watch here for, less concerned at this point, but still watching it closely. Palmerton, Illinois 78 between Chandler and Virginia, north of 125. Philadelphia, I think we can give you the all clear too for this particular little storm. Just checking that velocity again. The area of rotation is very small, and at this point has looked a bit weaker. I still suggest that there's maybe just a tad bit here, south and east of Sangamon Valley. That might be where they would be worth an extension here for parts of central Illinois. So just so we're aware, we will be about 30 seconds out from a cut-in on TV, so you're going to hear me go quiet. You're going to see us on TV. We're going to do a few minutes there. We'll be right back here. We're keeping digital platforms going, but that's going to be our plan here for a little while longer as we watch this tornado-warned storm here in central Illinois. We're about 10 seconds out, so you're going to hear me stand by, and then we will be on TV here in about 5 seconds. I'm WCIA3 meteorologist Jacob Dickey. We want to bring you another update real quick on our tornado warning in Cass County. The storm now to the north and east of Virginia. We can give Virginia an all clear here. There's a very subtle area of rotation still being monitored. We don't have any information whether this extends to Menard County, but we're watching for friends in Oakford and towards Petersburg, Lake Petersburg, northwestern Menard County. If that extension happens, we'll jump right back here on TV for this update. The warning itself goes until 3 o'clock. I'll remind you, we are on our digital platforms right now, streaming on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. We're also streaming on our weather apps. That's a great place to be here with this very low threat for severe weather here in central Illinois, although it has prompted this one tornado warning, which in Cass County is in the fringe of our viewing area. We cover them some, but they primarily don't get us over the antenna here. If it moves more to the east, Ashland, Petersburg, Oakford, parts of Menard County, that may be something we watch. Quick reset of the area wide. This is the only warning that we have. In fact, we did just get the new extension of the tornado warning. So production in the back with that extension, what we'll need to do is we'll need to be staying on TV here for the foreseeable future, but I'd like to have that double box of production you can handle. We can get golf in the left corner of the screen and monitor that. I'm going to let you guys handle that in the back, as that new tornado warning has been extended now to include parts of Menard County. That's going to go until 3:45, and it will include areas from Petersburg proper to the north and to the west. This does not include Ashland or Tallulah. It doesn't include Athens. It doesn't include Greenview either. It is to the north and west of Petersburg at this point. Petersburg proper, we'd like you to head to your shelter, as this tornado warning has been issued until 3:45. For Menard, Mason, and Cass County. This will be to the east of Chandlerville towards Bobtown along Illinois 97 between Kilbourne and Petersburg if you live there. This will primarily, I think, stay just south of the river. It may cross the river north of Petersburg and head into Mason County. If that happens, Mason County, not in our viewing area, but Menard County is, and that's why we're going to cover this here. I know golf is on. We've got the PGA Tour. Production is in the back, and they'll be doing some double boxes to make sure we can show you some golf, and then we'll take it back full screen here. But with this active tornado warning now in central Illinois for Menard County, for this area of rotation now near Palmerton, just to the east of Sangamon Valley, moving out of Cass County, eventually in Menard County. We will continue our coverage on digital and on TV here for at least 3:45, unless the warnings drop earlier. And that's the way we're going to roll things here in Central Illinois. Other things to note, if you've got satellite TV or you've got cable company, you can watch golf live. You don't have to watch us here and look for that double box soon. You can do so on the CBS Sports app. You can do so with CBS streaming. If you watch only on the antenna, then it's maybe not as easy of an option for you, but your cable companies know they partner with CBS where you can watch everything you need online as well, and that's a great place to go. So we're going to get golf up here. You'll see golf on the left side of your screen. That's this side right here, and we'll keep it there while there's the holes going through, and we'll watch that tour. I know folks are wanting to monitor things and keep an eye on it. But we also know that there's folks that live in these areas with this tornado warning, with this rotation that continues to move off to the east. A tornado, of course, serious business for folks. It may not be affecting you now, and I apologize for the inconvenience, but at this point we're going to cover and help our friends that are in Menard County watching this area of rotation as it continues off to the east. This is our only warning in the television market here with this area here. And I'm going to pull up real quick just the chat. I want to make sure that I don't see any other information. Looks like we actually did get a brief touchdown just reported 2 miles north of Virginia. So at this point, we'd like to treat this as a tornado down moving into Menard County. The fire department reports a tornado touchdown at 2:40 p.m., 2 miles north of Virginia. Also, another report of a tornado at 2:31. So this storm now has a history of producing at least 2 tornadoes in the area of this circulation itself. Albeit it is small, it is still enough to cause problems, especially if your home is in the path of it here. And we're primarily talking for our friends in northwestern Menard County, Petersburg, and points to the north and west with this tornado warning that has been extended due to a history of warnings, a history of tornadoes from the storm in the Virginia area. At least 2 reports so far from trained spotters and local fire departments of touchdowns at 2:31 and at 2:40 p.m. This tornado warning then has been extended because of that, and that's going to continue it as it moves off to the north and to the east at about 25 miles an hour. A lot of folks in central Illinois right now, just some light rain showers, very isolated in nature on Interstate 57 between Effingham and Champaign. Interstate 70 seeing some moderate rain. We're seeing some storms develop also in Macoupin and Montgomery County. But this little pocket of storms here as it continues off to the north and to the east, eventually Menard County, Mason County, we'll watch downstream for Logan County. That may be a small quarter of problems for us, given the vorticity, the energy and spin in the atmosphere very concentrated near that area of low pressure, which is going to keep us in this cloudy, murky pattern. This doesn't look like a big-time event at all. It does not look like a widespread severe weather event, rather a localized corridor. And at this point, my focus would be primarily for Menard, downstream Logan County, but I'll be remiss if I don't mention there is a severe thunderstorm watch. You've seen that going on the bottom of your screen. That's been for Fayette, Effingham, Jasper, and Crawford County. That's for the Interstate 70 corridor where we think that threat is a little higher. There's no watch in place here for Menard or Logan County. The threat's so localized and so small. While I am diminishing the threat for a lot of folks still in that area, the threat at this point a bit higher due to 2 tornadoes down with this storm now as it moves into Menard County. Those tornado reports coming from earlier from storm spotters and fire rescue. We'll continue to watch it here. This little cluster of storms here. We're going to watch this storm closely here developing south and west of Ashland. A little bit of that wind shear in place. Chandlerville, Petersburg, here's Menard County. Here's Cass County. There's the city of Jacksonville. Here's the city of Springfield as we continue to watch things here for the next, at least, it seems like we may be on for 45 minutes or so. Golf continues on the left side of your screen. We've got it there. We'll continue to have it there, but with these tornado warnings in central Illinois, we want to continue bringing you this coverage here on our digital platforms as well. You can watch us there. We're watching the chat and comments for any information and reports from that area. And we continue to monitor things closely. A lot of central Illinois at this point not seeing a whole lot in the way of things, and that may be something that happens through the rest of the day. Just for some information purposes, at the bottom of the screen, you may also see a flash flood watch that's in effect. That flash flood watch for much of central Illinois, I'll show you that in a second. What I really want to do is I want to pull the sky cam up and take a peek at that. This is in Springfield. Sometimes we can get a decent vantage point from that area. And so we're going to try and take a look at Springfield. Now it looks like we're looking off to the west. This has been the scene for many of us in central Illinois through the day today. Clouds have been in place, the instability not all that high, but it seems like we're at least having enough localized wind shear for Menard, eventually downstream Logan County potentially, where this could continue to be an issue for a little while longer. I really don't have concerns at this point for the city of Springfield. I don't have concerns for Decatur. I really don't think I have concerns for Champaign or Danville even. This one little area of tornado warning that's for Menard County is now in our television market and is worth every minute spent on it, talking about that here in central Illinois. As I get this camera up here, we're going to turn it a little bit and pan around. This low murky cloud cover is what we'll see here. Not going to be a great day for visibility, but we may be able to pick out something. The area we're watching is actually going to be right behind this tower you see here as I turn. That tornado dropped off in the distance, and we normally would be able to see that in the distance there as we continue to watch with the storm. In fact, I'm going to turn this around towards the airport and kind of reset real fast. And while we do that, I do want to mention a new tornado warning has come out for storms to the north. That's going to be for Mason County, not our area, but I'll mention it. Havana, Kilburn, you've got Petersburg, Virginia, all in tornado warnings. We can give tornado all clear for the tornado in Virginia, areas to the west. Downstream, though, Kilburn, Petersburg, and areas in northwestern Menard County. That new warning just came in for another little area of spin here. Given the history of tornado reports, at least 2 confirmed touchdowns, that's going to be something we have to monitor for a while longer. I'm putting on here, what I'm adding to the layers, I want to show you the lightning. And what you're going to see here, I just added it. Nothing changed on radar. These spinning showers, as we're calling them, they're not even thunderstorms. These aren't supercell thunderstorms. They're spinning showers, have enough rotation and are pulling in just enough instability to give us these confirmed tornadoes in central Illinois. For Cass County has already had 2 reports of it as it continues off to the east now. Still in Cass County, northeast of Virginia. We'll take a look even closer here and show you some of the rotation. It'll be very brief and very localized, but I think it makes up very much here. At this point, I'd like to treat this as a tornado down. Given the way the signature looks here near Chandlerville, just to the south and east of town, we need to treat this as a tornado down now in northern Cass County, moving off to the north and east. Palmerton, Panther Creek, this is just to the north of you. Really, Panther Creek, if you know where that's at here, east of Illinois 78, we've got to have you in your shelter. A very small localized circulation, but given what it looked like when we had confirmed reports, really think that this confirmed tornado now moving through parts of our area, we've got to talk about downstream. Oakford, eventually areas north and west of Petersburg. Bobtown sits there. There's Illinois 97. Newmansville off to the north with the history of tornadoes and some reports of perhaps some minor damage starting to trickle in here in parts of central Illinois. That's the one circulation. We'll just mention here, this is Mason County. The same thing happening here for friends that are in Mason County, Havana. They'll be watching the Peoria television market. But if we talk about even further downstream, Logan County would be next, eventually McLean County. Highway US 136 corridor, we may have to watch there. I think this stays north of Interstate 72, but we still think that there's a tornado down right now, given reports and some minor damage reports coming in from Cass County, very much in the northeastern part of the county. Hopefully what can happen is we can lift this a little more to the north, and if it stays north and gets out of Menard County in a quick bit, we'll put Bat Golf on full screen here. But Cass County, of course, is north of Jacksonville, northwest of Springfield, to the west of Menard County here. Part of our viewing area, part of our coverage area, and our obligation is to cover folks in central Illinois. We give the same treatment to everyone. We think everyone is equal and everyone has the right to coverage here in central Illinois. The TV is our #1 way of doing it. I'll mention real quick, I'm going to train my eyes real fast here, and I'm going to zoom in just to check here. This is the one circulation with a history of tornadoes and some minor damage in Cass County south of Chandlerville. This right here has my eye, though, perhaps another area spinning up. So train your eyes in the screen right there, and we're going to switch back to our reflectivity and take a peek at what we expect here. Looking at the placement of that for our storms, that placement very much maybe an indication of another weak circulation just to the west of Newmansville. There's Tallulah at 123, it will be to the north of there, but each of these little cells may have the chance to get some weak rotation, and it's not going to take much to drop tornadoes. Already 2 confirmed tornadoes in Cass County from the fire department and storm spotters. They've been watching this very closely. These storms are slow moving, 20 to 25 miles an hour as they continue off to the north and to the east. Let's bring back our Springfield Skycam here in a second, and I'm going to turn this camera to peek in the right direction. I want to glance at it here before I do so. Again, the tornado warning for Menard County goes until 3:45. The tornado warning for Cass County will continue until 3. That warning likely to be dropped for Virginia, but still eastern Cass County, Menard County, that extension now for Chandlerville, Newmansville, Bobtown, Petersburg, Illinois 97 northwest of Petersburg will go until 3:45. Virginia, again, we've given you the all clear. Ashland, no tornado warning for you, though I'm going to have to watch this little cell about 6-7 miles west of town on Illinois 125. Tallulah, we'll have to watch for you. Lake Petersburg and even towards Athens and Greenview. This batch of showers and storms as it continues off to the north and to the east will have to be monitored for rotation given a history of tornadoes and some light damage here in central Illinois. Here's where we're at now. We'll hit the reset button. The time is 2:58. And we are watching a couple of tornado warnings in central Illinois, some of those affecting our viewers, of course. While we've got commercials in the back, if you can bring me full screen during those, we'll keep us full screen during commercials. You won't miss anything. We'll keep golf going there, but our first and foremost responsibility to bring you severe weather coverage given confirmed tornadoes now in central Illinois from this. If we can, I'd like to bring up in a second here, if you can have that on the preview screen also, I'd like to bring up the weather camera 1 momentarily. I'm going to set that to Springfield. I'd like to take a full view of that in a second here as we watch things. And so I'm going to set that camera 1 real quick to Springfield. And there it is. So if we can bring that live, then we're going to spin that around and look off to the north of town and try and see if we can identify anything here. You know, kind of take a view. But it looks like here as we look there more to the south and east, we're going to turn it back to the left where the storm is continuing to have a history of at least a couple of tornadoes. The fire department now looking in the area for any more reports of damage here in central Illinois. And so that's something that we're going to monitor. I'm going to reset this. We're going to spin it around to the west to take a look at the Capitol and do that. While we do that, let's go ahead and bring me back full for some radar coverage here as it's 2:59. This tornado warning for Cass County, that sits right here. Here's Ashland, Pleasant Plains, Farmingdale. You've got Bradfordton and Springfield there. Illinois 29 carries you north from Springfield past the airport. You hit Athens, you come up to Greenview. You can take it into Mason County, eventually make your way towards Peoria and US 136. Bobtown sits here. There's Petersburg. Here's Newmansville. This is Illinois 97 for the storms that are coming off into parts of central Illinois as we continue to watch them here for the foreseeable future, monitoring this. Let's go ahead and pull that Skycam back before this golf comes back on here, full screen if we can. I'm going to zoom in and show you that storm real fast. Again, golf still in commercial. It'll be back shortly. You can also stream golf on CBS All Access app, and you can also bring that you can do that if you've got satellite and cable over the antenna. We apologize for the inconvenience, but we're looking off to the north and west there. Not a lot of visibility. The storm probably about 30 miles away from Springfield, but sometimes these cameras can give us a great vantage point, and that's the case for us here on our Flooring America iNet camera out of Springfield. Before we go back to golf, we're in a news break now. They actually build those in and do that so we can talk about things here. We'll come back to me full real quick, and then we'll be jumping back to our double boxes shortly. This is for areas in Cass and Menard County. The tornado report earlier, 2 miles west of Virginia, tornado touchdown, and then 2 miles north of Virginia, another tornado has touched down from this storm right here. The area of rotation now is to the north and east of Virginia and continues to be there just to the south and east of Chandlerville. We'll also watch another one near Newmansville, perhaps developing, and moving it off to the north and to the east. We're back to double boxing. We'll continue to double box here. You can watch golf on the left side of your screen. You won't miss anything. We're going to double box that and bring the severe weather coverage to folks that need it. Of course, television, our biggest medium to reach viewers in central Illinois. And we'll continue to do that here as long as we've got these tornado warnings in. I want to mention, though, a lot of folks today probably more inconvenienced than anything. There's some light rain showers, Champaign, Danville, Watseka, Paris, down towards Casey, Mattoon, Charleston, Effingham. This batch of storms here, we'll have to watch and see what it does as it carries off to the east and to the northeast. But these two tornado warnings, now one in Mason County, the other for us here in Cass and Menard County that we're watching, has a history of tornadoes and perhaps some damage. What's happened with this setup is there's a very localized area of low pressure, what we call a cutoff low. Those cutoff lows can often give us a little localized area of instability and wind shear very near the center. And that's where these storms have formed. And when that happens, oftentimes we see multiple tornadoes come down. And we've already seen multiple tornadoes form and across parts of Cass County here with this. And we'll talk about these areas pretty specifically here in central Illinois. Most everywhere else, though, I think is going to be okay as we've just got these tornado warnings here. Let's talk a bit about the flash flooding threat real fast. There's a flash flood watch that's in effect for much of central Illinois. I'll read some of the counties to you because it's a little smaller on your screen. Logan, Macon, Moultrie, Coles, Cumberland, Shelby, Christian, Sangamon, Menard, Cass, and Morgan, as well as Effingham, Jasper, and Crawford. Those areas could very well add a couple of inches of rainfall with these storms coming through. They're slow moving. There's plenty of moisture, plenty of humidity in the atmosphere, and we've already seen some reports from last night's storms that brought severe weather into parts of Sangamon, Christian, and Shelby County, had 2 to 3 inches of rain. Very much prolific rainfall producers. This flash flood watch was extended and expanded and goes through Sunday morning. In addition, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. That watch not in place for Menard or Logan County or Cass County, where we're seeing this localized little zone here. It's for Fayette, Effingham, Jasper, and Crawford. We expect some big-time storms across southern Illinois this afternoon into tonight to cause problems there, and that may clip some of our counties along and south of Interstate 70. But we're here now at 3:03 on a Saturday afternoon, double boxing golf, because of our 2 tornado warnings here in west central Illinois, and we'll continue to do so. Let's hit the reset button here and talk more about these individual warnings that are in place. And I'd be remiss, I think we're going to need to watch this cell near Philadelphia closely here. One little cell there. There are more showers than anything. There's no lightning with these storms that's being detected by our products here, our radar and whatnot. This storm then near Newmansville, we may have to watch closely. The area of rotation that's produced 2 tornadoes so far in parts of Cass County now to the east of Chandlersville, slowly moving off to the east into parts of northwestern Menard County. Petersburg, Oakford, we're here for you primarily. If you live south of Petersburg, down by Lake Petersburg, I think you're okay at this point. However, more storms downstream, more spinning showers as we're called them, may very well have the chance to bring some areas of rotation and perhaps some further tornado warnings with that. And what we'll do now is we'll scope through these and talk more about areas of rotation and where they're popping on in. This here, when I look at that little area of rotation now, about 3 miles to the east of Chandlerville, and we'll be sitting on the Sangamon River there. That moving off to the east towards Bobtown, Oakford on Illinois 97 northwest of Petersburg in Menard County. Further downstream, my eye is caught to some bright pixels showing up here. It may be a little hard to see on TV. I'll show you a different view of it momentarily. That one would be about 6-7 miles south and west of Newmansville, about 10 or so miles west of Tallulah. I think that lifts north and east of Tallulah here for the foreseeable future. And then we'll have to watch and see. Remember that little cell near Philadelphia? Nothing sticking out obvious to me on that. But as I switch from velocity to our storm relative velocity, I think it's going to be a little more clear. Here we go with those light reds and greens, very much maybe 2 miles south of Philadelphia. I've got no warning on that, but that's an area of interest, an area of suspicion at this point that we'll have to monitor. That should pass just north of Ashland, perhaps Tallulah downstream. If it warrants a new tornado warning, it would include you. Back to this little area here that's starting to develop. This spot here, south and west of Newmansville, is an area to watch. The warning itself is primarily for our area of rotation that we've watched here, now east of Chandlerville on the Sangamon River Valley there. And as it continues to move there, I'll back this up a little bit. Given the radar view a couple of minutes ago, this was at 2:53. I think we likely had another touchdown or just about south and east of Chandlerville, between Chandlerville and Panther Creek. And then, of course, we've had reports of tornadoes coming out of Cass County. 2 reports so far from fire department and storm spotters. They've observed this tornado and they've monitored it very closely and continue to do so here in central Illinois. We've gotten the left side of your screen again, the eye on the course, the commercials are rolling there. What I'm doing is continuing to look for any other reports. And I know some of those spotters that are in the area here who are watching it. And so we're going to take a look and see if we can see any photo or videos from them. I'm just triple checking some of my sources here. Again, we're watching digital platforms. We're pulling in our chat from the National Weather Service. We're doing a lot of things all at once here. And we'll take you along for the ride here as far as things are looking with that area of rotation. So some of the spotters in the area, I don't have any photos or confirmation of that. I know we've got meteorologist Jack Gerfen. He's watching behind the scenes. Jack's a big golf fan. He wants to watch golf too, but I know he's watching digital. He can help monitor some of those social media feeds, check into Cass County for any photos or whatnot. I know he's going to let us know right away if he sees that. We do, though, know that there's at least been 2 reports of tornadoes now down near the Virginia area in Cass County. And those warnings now carrying the storms into parts of Menard County. It is 3:07. I expect in the next 5 minutes or so, we'll see an update to this watch. I think we're within the next 10 to 15 minutes or so getting ready to call all clear for Cass County. We can call all clear for Philadelphia, Virginia, Little Indian, Bluff Springs, Aaronsville, Beardstown. This is in northeastern Cass County. And then for Menard County, at this point, we can say we're okay in Athens, Greenview, some of these small little communities, Van Wood, Fancy Prairie, Culver, the intersection of Illinois 9 and Illinois 29 and 97, Illinois 123 here to the south, Tallulah, Lewisburg, and Lake Petersburg, okay. We'll watch these individual little cells that may take advantage of some of that wind shear in the atmosphere, and that may very well allow for an additional warning. I don't think at this point we'll have that, and I'm optimistic that we may actually get out of here in the next 15 minutes and at least be able to go back to full TV coverage here. We're going to monitor that very closely here in central Illinois. What I want to do real fast is I want to double check on some of my social media feeds here. I know one of the folks that's out there in Cass County and want to see if we can see any information. Boy, I tell you what, I just see a photo of the tornado that touched down. If you're interested in seeing that, near Virginia at 2:30, the tornado has touched down. I can see a photo clear as day. That is an obvious tornado. I'd like to show it on TV, but at this point I don't think I'm able to. But you can head to my Twitter. I'll also share that on my Facebook page here in just a second and give you the link of why we're covering this. And we're going to find out quickly. Jack is going to look at my Twitter and see if we can get some information from that. And, of course, we'll publish that on my Facebook page. You can link to see the tornado that has touched down near Virginia. Pretty obvious tornado here in central Illinois. So I'm doing a little multitasking and getting that posted on social for folks to take a peek at on my Facebook page. Tornado touchdown again reported near Virginia at 2:30 p.m. And that tornado has since lifted, but we had another report of a tornado touchdown since then also. And so we've had 2 confirmed tornadoes now from the National Weather Service. They just sent me another update, and let me peek at that real fast. I think we're going to be watching so we continue to monitor the likelihood. There's a likely tornado down now on the Sangamon River east of Channelville. That's what we're hearing from the National Weather Service, and rightfully so here. So I want to share this real quick, and there we go, and put that on real fast again. We'll get that posted here shortly for you. Again, that's on my Twitter. All right, so it looks like we now have the tornado. It's getting close to moving across the river, and once it does so, what I think we'll do is we'll dump back to digital coverage and keep an update on it. The Storm Prediction Center did mention they do not anticipate to have a tornado watch on this. There's a very localized nature from this. They're going to continue monitoring. We've got one of those areas of low pressure and a couple of these spinning showers with a history of brief tornadoes over the past couple of hours, but some of that wind shear is enough where each of these storms may have to be monitored closely. And in fact, they're mentioning now Newmansville to the north there of that individual cell as it continues to develop. And so that's something that we're going to monitor closely here as I continue to watch. You can see here's Newmansville, there's Oakford. The storm that has produced the tornado is sitting right here, but now our interest is on this storm as it will carry it between Oakford and Illinois 97 and Petersburg. And that's something that we're going to watch closely here. At this point, I think Chandlerville, Sangamon Valley, again, Virginia, we gave you the all clear. At this point, it's Newmansville, Oakford, Petersburg, and downstream then we'll have to watch for Greenview, Illinois 29, north of Athens. We'll be watching closely with some of these isolated little cells near Tallulah, and coming out of the north and east side of Philadelphia. They do not look impressive on radar from a storm tracker Doppler perspective, but where they do look impressive is some of that rotation that's been here. And it looks like that one little area of spin, albeit it looks very brief. The National Weather Service still mentions that they think this could spin back up. We think there's not a tornado down at this point approaching Oakford, but there's a little area of rotation. And in the blink of an eye, on a radar frame or two, that can very much spin back up in a frame or two. That's what we've seen already with 2, perhaps a 3rd tornado being reported in central Illinois. Just getting a new update. We do want to mention some of these storms down in Macoupin and Montgomery counties here. I'm going to switch back there and show you them. No warnings in these areas, but they have gone ahead and extended a flood advisory for some of those areas. Heavy rain in Macoupin, Montgomery counties. This leading line of storms from Taylorville to Colton to Ramsey on Illinois US 51 now, approaching Pana and Ramsey. Just some gusty rain. I don't see any threat for tornado now, but some gusty winds and some heavy rain and perhaps some thunder and lightning. You'll notice to the south of our viewing area, this is down and coming out of Madison County into Bond County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. We'll watch Effingham, Jasper, Crawford counties. We'll watch even Fayette County, but I think that should stay to the south, and the rest of the day overall our severe threat should be low. Still though, at this point with this localized area right on the Sangamon River now, north and west of Petersburg, south of Havana, this localized area may cause us some problems here for the next couple of hours. So we're going to monitor that and continue to watch things pretty closely here for a little while longer. The time now is 3:12. We've got golf. We're double boxing it as a convenience to make sure we can watch that. I know a lot of folks are very interested in that, but we've got folks that are under the threat for severe weather with storms with a history of tornadoes coming out, and a fairly stout-looking tornado again. If you're looking for that photo, I've shared it on my Twitter page, and I'm about to pull it up onto my Facebook page as well here. We're watching it. There's no question that that is a stout tornado, a stovepipe tornado that has touched down near Virginia at about 2:31. That report has come on in. That storm, thankfully, has lifted. And I'm about to put that on my Facebook page here. The photo of the tornado down near Virginia. Okay, good. Got that out and just getting some things shared in central Illinois. Let's hit a reset. What I want to do is I'm going to talk about area-wide real fast while we've got this. We're darn close to calling all clear for Cass County. Not the case, though, Menard County. And I think that update's going to come in a couple of minutes. We'll get a much broader idea of what's going to happen here. And when that commercial comes on, you can bring radar full screen, of course. We've got golf in here. I really think, for the most part, many spots will be okay today. The National Weather Service says no tornado watch expected. This is such a localized threat that we just cannot rule out, and we've already had tornadoes that are down here on this little MCV feature. If this continues, downstream, that MCV will track towards, that little area of storms will track towards Logan, perhaps DeWitt, McLean, perhaps even as far south as Macon County, downstream Piatt, Champaign, Ford counties. We'll watch it as this little feature moves on through, take a little wider view here on radar and show you in the general direction. This little feature will come in that direction. So can I say with certainty Champaign County we're not going to have a tornado today? No, I still think our threat is low, but we'll have to monitor hour by hour here in central Illinois as we've got these storms with history of tornadoes. One of them pretty impressive looking. Again, that's shared on my Facebook page and on my Twitter. You can just search Jacob Dickey there and you'll see that tornado and know why we are on here for this storm that has moved on through in central Illinois. Let's talk more about Menard County real quick. There's a couple of areas we're watching. This little cell here now south of Oakford, about to cross Illinois 97 northwest of Petersburg. Oakford, Petersburg proper, we'd like to have you in your shelter. A little area of rotation now south of Oakford. The second area of rotation now on the river, now crossing into Mason County. It will likely hug the river through northern Menard County. Eventually that one I think probably more towards Mason City. That's the Peoria television market. Menard County though is the Champaign-Urbana television market. Oakford, Petersburg, Newmansville, those are the areas we're watching closely. Chandlerville, Virginia, all clear. Most of Cass County, all clear. If you live close to the Menard County line in Cass County, we're still here for you. We're still here for our friends that are in Menard County as well. And of course, there's that other tornado warned storm up to the north. There's the latest radar update. And at this point, let me look at one real quick product. Just to identify real fast, and we'll make a decision about our TV coverage, kind of glancing on through, the storm that was originally warned now is solidly across the river in parts of Mason County, but we still are watching perhaps a brief area of circulation. I'm reaching out to the National Weather Service to learn more of their thoughts. Looks like they are still concerned for that spot near Newmansville that could spin up, but they're going to hold things now for this tornado warning for at least the next little bit here in central Illinois. And that's something that we're going to monitor closely. we've got to watch any of these other little cells that are popping up downstream. We talk about areas from Ashland, Tallulah. Any of these cells, I think, may have a chance to get some weak rotation. So at this point, it's going to turn into an afternoon of babysitting the radar. 2 tornadoes already down near Virginia, and a fairly stout tornado indeed. If you want to see the tornado photo, it's on my Facebook page. Again, while we're on commercials, if you want to bring me back full screen. Okay, that's fine. I want to bring full screen to show the radar real faster since we're in commercial, where we're watching here. And we go back to the Gulf, as long as we've got a national commercial break, we can blow those out. But we're going to keep the double box while Gulf is going here. Newmansville, Petersburg, Oakford, another area of rotation. Now very near Oakford, another one now south and east of Oakford, crossing the highway between Petersburg and Oakford. That may carry itself in the general direction towards Greenview and in Mason City. Our only warning that we have. We did just get an update on the northern tornado warning in Mason County. They've trimmed that back. I expect in the next minute or two we're going to see Cass County given an all clear, and I'd like to give the all clear now to Cass County in central Illinois. This is now a Menard County, a northwestern Menard County. Petersburg points to the north and west, where the storm is moving on through parts of the central Illinois, and it may be an afternoon of babysitting. Downstream, we'll watch Logan County, and we'll be watching McLean County. Perhaps downstream, even perhaps, I mean, I can't rule out the Clinton, Decatur, Champaign-Urbana area at this point, but I don't have any real concerns. The threat very localized and low, but we're getting some video of 2 tornadoes now that are being talked about. So I know Jack is watching Gulf. If we can have some help on the digital side, he's looking into that and monitoring things. And now we're getting another report. Let me check this here. Okay, looks like we just got a storm report from Philadelphia. Remember that storm we were talking about here? 4 miles northeast of Philadelphia, law enforcement reporting a funnel cloud moments ago. That's with this cell here. We mentioned some of these other little cells may have a little rotation. Whether or not they issue a new tornado warning, I think that storm is solidly enough in that tornado warning, but with this, we're going to be playing that game through the day of some of these storms with very weak-looking rotation on radar can actually put down some pretty impressive tornadoes and can have some funnels here in central Illinois. And so that's something we're going to monitor. Again, this tornado warning for a couple of areas. We've got now 3 areas we're watching. One on the river west of Oakford, one crossing the highway on Oakford and Petersburg, and now this second storm northeast of Philadelphia. Philadelphia, we're all clear, but if you live northeast of Philadelphia, north of Ashland and Menard County, perhaps have an eye to the sky, and we'll watch and see. But that should carry itself into Menard County very closely. That will be a Petersburg problem, and we may see an extension of that warning to Phil more to the south based on that report. I'm not sure. The National Weather Service has chatted with us, and they've said we've had multiple reports of funnel clouds. We have 2 videos of tornadoes down from Cass County. They think these storms still very much could do that. And so with all of these little areas of rotation, that's what we'll continue to monitor here for a while longer, I think, here in central Illinois. The other reports that I have has been primarily for some wind damage last night. I will go ahead and pull up these storm reports, and I want to bring that up real fast and hit the reset button for the market. Here we go. What we've seen is in central Illinois, all of those blue icons are heavy rain reports, but there's been 2 tornado reports and even a funnel cloud report now added to the books in Cass County. This is where they happened. Virginia, 1, 2, and then the funnel cloud report came north and east of Philadelphia. That storm now passing near Newmansville on its way towards Petersburg with that tornado warning, but a lot of heavy rain last night. There was actually some wind damage also in Sangamon County from last night's storms. The threat today, low, but with these tornadoes, if it hits your house, that's not a good day, and that's something that we're going to monitor closely here for the foreseeable future with these storms with a history of tornadoes. The main storm, the storm of the day, I think, is in Mason County here. That's the one that had those 2 confirmed tornadoes. Spotters are out there watching that storm, but they're watching other storms now, one coming in south of Oakford. This right here, perhaps there's a little inflow notch right here and an area of spin developing to the north and west of Petersburg, but also now with the funnel cloud being reported from this cell near Newmansville. Philadelphia sits down here in the bottom left of the screen, that carrying off to the northeast. They reported that funnel cloud very near the lake, kind of close to Newmansville, south of Panther Creek. A lot of folks live out there, a wooded area, very nice area. But now that storm's starting to move to the north and east. That one will come close to Petersburg, perhaps even Lake Petersburg on Illinois 123, Illinois 97 in Menard County. riding that polygon there. At this point, we're calling Petersburg in the polygon. Part of town is really that line splits it. But if you live in Petersburg proper, we'd like you to take shelter at this point, given a history of tornadoes, given a history of funnel clouds here in central Illinois, and we'll continue to monitor these storms very closely as we move over the next couple of hours. These storms are slow moving, and that's a problem for us here. We'd like sometimes, if we have to get storms, we'd like them to move quickly and get out of here in a hustle. That's not going to be the case with these here, as that little disturbance, that little area of low pressure is slow moving. I'm going to loop this over the last 3 hours, and you'll see not a whole lot of movement. In 3 hours, those storms went from just west of the Illinois River up in Pike County, and now they're in Cass and Menard County. That's about 60 miles, if that. Been out that way a number of times. So these storms may give us some more problems as it continues off to the north and east there. We'll watch it and keep you updated on that. But I'm optimistic, at least at this point, the severe threat for many of us remains low. North of 72 up to Interstate 55 corridor between Springfield, Lincoln, Bloomington, Normal. That may be the next area that we have to watch. And we'll watch and see if any of these trailing showers and storms can get going with that little core of instability. In fact, if you look at the screen here, you can almost see a little bit of that spin in place there northwest of Springfield, where that low is sitting. And that's been the source of our problem with these confirmed tornadoes that have come on down in parts of central Illinois. That's it. We still are watching some of those rain showers and storms here. What I'll do is I'm going to turn on the lightning real fast, and we're going to hold this steady. Interesting to note here, now that northern storm does actually have some lightning reports in Mason County, but there's not a whole lot of it. Even down here towards Vandalia, Shelby County, parts of Montgomery County, along the Interstate 70 corridor, there really isn't a lot of lightning with those here. And I'm just going to double check and make sure we haven't had a glitch, because sometimes our lightning count doesn't always fill in properly. Yeah, there it is. There's not a lot. Storms last night in the areas that got them, if you got a storm last night, you knew very well that you had a storm here in central Illinois, and you knew that it was coming. They were loud and noisy. These are very quiet. An occasional rumble of thunder, an occasional strike of lightning, some gusty winds, some heavy rain now. But we're primarily here focused on our tornado warning now in Menard County with the storm coming out of Cass County. And I'd be remiss, as unimpressive as they look and present themselves on Storm Tracker Doppler, very small little storms. They're still supercell thunderstorms, and they're still moving off to the north and east. At this point, Petersburg, we've got to watch town closely here. I'll encourage you to stay in your shelter at least until 3:45. If we get an update and we call it all clear before then, that's fine. But also watching some of these little bitty showers and storms here near Ashland and into northeastern Morgan County, east of Liderberry near Sinclair. That's going to cross somewhere here, the Sangamon and Menard County line. That may be Tallulah, Athens, Greenview, some of those other towns in Menard County downstream that we'll have to monitor. And that's something we'll continue to watch closely here for the next little bit. Still, though, if I had to peg the area of rotation, I really expect by 3:30 to have an update from the National Weather Service. I really think here this tornado that's down would be near Kilburn and Mason County. That's storm number 1. Storm number 2 that's had a history, funnel clouds now on Illinois 97, crossing about 3 miles south and east of Oakford, 4 miles northwest of Petersburg. There's that latest scan in. This will be the one storm we have to watch. That other storm now, Peoria television market for at least a little while. And then storm number 3 is now south and east of Newmansville. So we've updated that tornado warning. That's the information that just came on in. This tornado warning will continue until 3:45. They are watching a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Atterbury, and that's going to be moving to the north and to the east at 20 miles an hour. That's going to be this storm right here close to Newmansville as it moves off to the northeast. We've mentioned that. Each one of these exhibiting brief, weak rotation, but they'll spin up very quickly. They'll drop a tornado very quickly, and then they'll lift very quickly here, but still it's a concern for us here over the next little while. So again, we want Petersburg, we want Bobtown, we want Illinois 97 from Petersburg up to the Mason County line in our shelters. Downstream, Greenview, you're not in the threat yet, and even downstream, Logan County, not in the threat yet. But we're going to watch closely for you there as these storms with a history of at least 2 tornadoes is down and continuing to monitor here. I'm going to just check real quick. Again, if we can find out some more information, I've shared one of those photos of the tornado on my social media. It's there. You can go look at it. I don't have permission to check it yet. I know Jack is watching, and if Jack can help with that, I'd like to get some permission from that and get Storms on in here since we've had a history of tornadoes in the area. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring the Skycam up, and I'd like to peek at the Skycam. And if we can, in the double box, I'd like to put the Skycam full on the right side of the screen real quick. It's hard to see when we've got a camera on a screen, but that is going to help out, I think, show that a little more. As these storms get a little closer, we may be able to pick something up. And so there it is, that Skycam is full screen. We're looking off to the north and to the west. We're going to zoom in and scope things out here. These storms still 20, 30 miles away, but our tower camera, our iNet camera, is sitting on top of the hotel in downtown Springfield. That big tower there, that's where it's at. And so that's what we're going to monitor here. I'm going to have to do an autofocus reset just to make sure we're able to see it a little better. It's a bit breezy out there too. You see that camera bouncing around. Thinking of the balloon festival in Vermilion County, I'm a little concerned if that's going to be the case for us here. So you're seeing the screen kind of get fuzzy and then come back in. We're trying to get it set to where we can get a much better view here of the storms off in the distance. And I think we're looking at one area kind of in the center here. It's very far away, but it's at least helpful from my perspective to be able to look at that for us. So we'll go ahead and bring those graphics full screen there, and we can leave that as is, that double box. If you want to keep the radar full, that way I can get a couple other things done here behind the scenes, and then folks can really get a look at it here. The double box full radar would be great. So what we'll do is we're going to talk more about this tornado warning. Again, this goes until 3:45. We're keeping golf covered. As we know, folks love watching golf. We love watching golf too, and we're going to do our best to keep that double box during those commercial breaks. We'll bring it full and continue to monitor things here. We're watching this area of rotation now. A couple of them have my eye. One now to the north and west of Petersburg, about 2-3 miles. That storm has had a history of funnel clouds. There's another one, though, about 6 miles west of Petersburg, riding on the southern end of that polygon. Tornado warnings are no longer issued by county. They're issued for segments of counties. There's a polygon here, 4, 5, 6-sided figure. We highlight a zone where that tornado warning is issued, and that means, Athens and Greenview and Salisbury and Tallulah aren't in that. While I say that, it's very likely, though, some of our tornado warning, our outdoor warning siren systems is one button press all in the county. That's a one-size-fits-all thing. You press one button, all the sirens go up in the county. I'd like to help you understand that we should think less of these as tornado warning sirens and more of sirens that alert you to get more information. In Menard County, those sirens may have gone off in Athens. They may have gone on in Greenview. They may have gone on in Tallulah. They should have gone off in Oakford and Petersburg. And that's because of storms that are moving off to the north and west here, through the north and west part of the county. So we'll watch those other areas, and there still very well could be other warnings issued. Some counties are entirely perfect. Some of those county areas, some counties have those sirens split up into areas, and they can blow them for only certain parts. I'm not certain what Menard County is, but at this point we think that the sirens have at least sounded, given a history of tornadoes here with these storms moving on through. It is now 3:29. And we're watching things here closely on our digital platforms, WCIA.com. We're watching on the WCIA 3 weather and news app streaming there. If you're in the tornado warning, of course, you know that you can go get coverage and watch things closely and continue to monitor them there. And that's going to allow for the continuous coverage to happen. And when that does, then, we've got this tornado warning for that storm near Oakford. We'll watch it closely and keep you updated on that and continue to monitor things here for a little while as I get some other things fixed here behind the scenes. And here we go. I'm going to cut that in. And let me pull up real fast on my switcher. I'm switching some things on our digital platforms for us real fast, making sure we're good there. So we can watch and keep an eye on things. So that's one spot. The other spot that we've got here is for an area of circulation that's had a funnel cloud reported now coming out of Newmansville, and that storm now moving towards Petersburg. It doesn't look all that impressive on radar, but we know these storms have a history of tornadoes, have a history of touchdowns, and have a history of funnel clouds. Storm spotters, fire department, local law enforcement have all seen them. Further down the line then, we're starting to see some of these little cells pick on in near Ashland and coming in towards northern Morgan County. That could be an issue downstream if they organize more and can take advantage of some of that localized wind shear. That could be an issue for Sangamon County. I have no warning for Sangamon County. I still think Sangamon County, perhaps it's best to keep an eye on the sky and have a way to get weather alerts. Really, you should have a way to get weather alerts at any point here throughout the day. And so that's something that we're going to monitor closely. Let's talk real quick again, the tornado warning. What do you do in a tornado warning? Proceed to your safe place, leave your mobile homes, get out of cars. We encourage no driving in northwestern Menard County. In, down, and up, those three key words. In, interior room, most inside part of your home, as many walls between the outside of your home as possible. Down, getting as low to the ground as possible, whether that's a basement, a crawl space, a bathtub, even a great place to hunker down in. And of course, covering up. Pillows, blankets, mattress. We even encourage bicycle helmets. The number one cause of injury and fatality in tornado events is head trauma. If we have head trauma, put a bike helmet on, you can help prevent that. I've known folks from my time in Mississippi. I've met kids who have survived some of the worst tornadoes because they had a bike helmet on solely, and that's something we encourage everyone to do, even putting on shoes, grabbing those, and having some other information about what to do when severe weather threatens. We've got all of that on our website, all of that online. We're going to bring that double box back now that golf is back on. Again, we were just during a commercial break here. We continue to watch this tornado warning in Menard County. It's our one warning at this point and continues to do so. 2 tornadoes reported in Cass County. We have a funnel cloud reported in eastern Cass County, northeast of Philadelphia. This warning goes until 3:45. The National Weather Service has given us no indication at this point whether there is going to be an extension, but the way this setup is, we take it minute by minute and watch frame by frame to assess things here. So there's a chance we may go off for the day and not have to do anything after 3:45. There's a chance we may play this game of back and forth babysitting here for the next little while and continue to monitor things for these little batch of storms that's rolling on through. It's almost a disservice to call them storms. They're more like spinning showers at this point. So a couple of bolts of lightning, but there's enough instability and localized wind shear right around that area of low pressure that's now sitting in western Mason County that these storms are tapping into that and have produced some pretty gritty tornadoes, I suppose we'd say, from some of the photos we've seen online in central Illinois and whatnot. Just checking some of the comments and making sure that we're good. I don't have any reports that have come in from our viewers, and I know Jack is watching digital. He hasn't had anything. I will mention that new update that just came out here. You heard that noise. Cass County, all clear at this point. We'll watch down by Ashland. No warning. Some of those little showers, though, just have to be monitored and babysat. This is now primarily a Menard County issue. Storm located near Atterbury, moving northeast at 20 miles an hour. Illinois 29, I think you're good for now. Downstream, if it's needed and the warning extended, we may have to do that. But I'm overly growing more optimistic that this area of rotation here now east of Oakwood, I think it shows up really well on radar where you see some of those greens and reds. I think at this point, given the signatures we've had and given what we've seen already today, this signature should probably be treated as a tornado down. It will not look all that impressive on radar, and I'll switch a view to see if we get a little better vantage point, different angle. Again, you see in that same spot some of those greens surging around. What we're seeing is on the southwest side of that, rain and wind wrapping around that little circulation, and that's helping to bring some of that spin. We call that the rear flank downdraft, and that's wrapping on in there and is right now squarely between Oakford and Greenview, but it should, and I'm optimistic on the general track, should be carrying out of the area and likely would be mainly a Mason County problem in the next 15 minutes or so. Of course, the storm is slow moving and very much has to be monitored, but I'm going to call that, and I even think there is showing that rotation strengthening a little bit. I'll bounce back between my different views of it. I'm going to say we have a tornado down now right here. This radar image just came on in. You can see the pixel now, very close to Fairground Street, Altgage Bridge Avenue in northern Menard County, a rural area, but nonetheless people live there. I would suggest that that is going to be, if not close to, it will be a tornado down. We may not get any debris signature from that, given the way these signatures are, but very close pixel by pixel there, located in northern Menard County. This very well could be very close to, if not already producing, another tornado in Menard County. Optimistic that carries it off to the parts of south and eastern Mason County. This will not be a Petersburg problem. This will not be an Athens problem. Petersburg, downstream, we're still watching a little area of rotation now, not nearly as impressive. I think the main event now is north of Petersburg, but we've had that funnel cloud report coming out of Philadelphia. As I look at some of these velocity products, again, this is an angle that allows us to look at how the storms are moving. Reflectivity, you traditionally see that. That's how intense they are. This lets us see how the winds are moving, and that to me is a pretty clear-cut sign that there may very well be another tornado down. Given how we've had tornado reported with this in Menard County, we'll wait and see if we get any spotter reports and have any eyes. Unfortunately, from our Springfield tower camera, I think that's going to be buried up in the rain and hard to see. And I'm just glancing myself at it to kind of get an extra vantage point here. We are going to use that tower cam periodically as well to just watch for other friends. But it's a little murky off in the distance. I mean, that storm's a good 30 miles north of Springfield where that camera is sitting, so we won't be able to get a good look at that. But we are going to use that Springfield camera as well to scope some of the other areas off to the south and west of that storm where we had some funnel clouds reports, and just doing a sweep of the sky now. I don't see anything imminently concerning. But that's a quick sweep here, and that doesn't mean in 5 minutes things couldn't get a little more hefty there in central Illinois for parts of Morgan and northwestern Sangamon County. Of course, there's some showers, some heavy rain now from Alexander near Ashland, moving off to the north and east, and then down the line. Our main event really, I think, wrapped up in the rain here at this point, and that's from this feature right here. We've been watching it closely. The next radar frame may give us an idea if we have any damage that's spun up. And just checking Google Earth, Google Maps, and looking at that area, it's a forested area, so if something does touch down, it would likely cause some damage pretty quickly here in central Illinois. All right, we did just get an extension of the tornado warning. That means we're going to keep busier even longer now. This tornado warning has been extended for Logan County, Menard and Logan County. This is going to go until 4:15 and is going to continue for that storm, which what we think is now a tornado down. And is going to be the case. So I'm just texting Jack and letting him know some information to help get us some more updates and out. This Logan County warning now west of Lincoln. They've extended that circulation now west of Greenview. And it looks like it's going to hug the river in northern Menard County and is going to be in southern Mason County, but then it carries it into Logan County. For that area of rotation we showed you here, I'd like to suggest that given that last radar frame, you can see here, that to me, there's that green pixel sitting right next to the red pixels. And that to me is an indication that there likely is some rotation I want to suggest, I don't have eyes in the ground there, and I don't have any reports yet, but that to me is an indication of very tight rotation in Menard County. And that radar update came in, and we're seeing a little issue with the Lincoln radar here from that storm. We'll switch it and see still in northern Menard County carrying off to the east. Greenview, Hubley, this is going to be north of Culver. This is going to be north of Fancy Prairie, north of Athens, north of Petersburg. At this point, I want to say Tallulah, Ashland, Petersburg. We can give you a cautious all clear. There's no warning, nothing imminently concerning, but we're going to continue to watch here and monitor these things pretty closely over the next foreseeable future. Downstream, the extension of that tornado warning. Let's just talk about where it heads next. What's it do? Well, it heads north of Lincoln, heads into southwestern McLean County, heads into parts of DeWitt County if it continues on its track. However, it's moving very slowly, and I mean slowly here. This storm has taken a little neighborhood tour in parts of Menard County and has dropped already 2, perhaps 3 tornadoes. And that continues to move off to the east at just 20 miles an hour. Let's draw a timeline here and show you at 20 miles an hour, it doesn't get very far very quickly here. And I'll draw a little times cue here. You know, there's 20 miles in an hour. It carries it into Logan County. Curtis, 348. Greenview, 356. Hubley at 411. Corwin at 423. New Holland High School, that'd be at 427. And that warning that's been issued to extend is going to go all the way until 4:30. 4:15, I'm sorry. And so that's going to give us at least another 30 minutes here in central Illinois of this tornado warning with a history of confirmed tornadoes. I'd like to suggest, from what I've seen, we may have had another tornado touchdown. And I'm going to check the correlation coefficient. That's our look at how objects are correlated in the sky. I don't see any indication of debris being lofted. But if it was a brief touchdown, it doesn't mean there wasn't a little localized area here. This product is usually much better for our extended tornadoes that touch down and continue tracking through the area and cause more significant damage. On a day like today, when we've got these funnel clouds and these areas of rotation that spin up quickly, drop tornadoes, do some localized damage, and dissipate, they may not be as helpful here. So we're going to use it as best we can. But I'll show you here in the last 45 minutes what we expect. I'll slow that down for you a little bit. This is in the last 45 minutes. This storm has not moved all that much. It moved from northeastern Cass County now, is on along the river, and continues to move off to the east there. Greenview, Petersburg, Hubley, Mason City, and that's what we're going to monitor closely here for the region. Once this crosses into Mason County, I think this is going to be our plan, is we're actually going to jump back to Gulf. I know we have a tornado warning in Mason County. That's not our area, but we still have one in Menard and in Logan counties. I think we're going to have some time, so we'll end up jumping to Gulf full time here for a little bit and kind of do some digital check-ins. We'll stay on digital platforms. We will also be doing some more coverage later probably as these storms continue off to the east. But if the storm is exiting our area before it re-enters our area, we're going to go back to our coverage here once the commercial break is done. We'll go back to Gulf full time. Ways you can still follow our coverage. We're on our digital platforms right now, and I'm going to reset that to send another announcement out on that. So you can join Facebook, on Twitter, and on the WCIA3 News and Weather app. This storm will continue its path to the north and east. Mason County is going to be the ground, the main area where this storm will be for the next 20 minutes or so, and then it will carry it into Logan County. So we have some time. New Holland, Corwin, areas in Illinois 10 west of Lincoln. You head out of Lincoln on Illinois 10, a lot of farmland, a lot of rural area out there. New Holland, one of those communities. Then you hit Mason City. Those areas are covered by Peoria, so we'll actually duck out of coverage and do digital only for a little bit. We'll let Gulf roll, and then we'll be back here with a check-in at 4 o'clock, if not earlier, if needed, as these storms continue to move on through. And that's going to be our plan here for the rest of the afternoon. I'm WCIA3 meteorologist Jacob Dickey. Please join us on our digital platforms for more coverage as we continue to watch this one tornado-warned storm now in northern Menard County exiting into Mason County. It will be a Logan County problem eventually, and we're going to monitor that, but we're going to keep talking about this on our digital platforms. Please join us there. We'll bring you back to Gulf full screen now. Okay, just checking now behind the scenes. We're back to Gulf, but we're on our digital platforms, and we're going to do so for at least a little while longer. The plan will be to have a check-in at 4 p.m. on TV again with this warning. It's moved out of our area. It's less of a concern. It's kind of on the fringe, but we're going to monitor things here closely. As I think at least in Menard County at this point, I'm not overly concerned with that area of rotation. It's crossing the river and on its way out. We will watch, though, in Petersburg and monitor, see if that does anything. But you see that warning that's been dropped there, the old warning. That's something we'll continue to monitor. Hey, Jalen, could you mind getting me some water? I appreciate it. Thank you. We're going to watch this closely, although an indication that maybe there's a little more rotation trying to pick up near Petersburg. So I don't want to say Petersburg is all clear. I still think watching in Petersburg to see what happens is going to be important there. These storms are not all that impressive on Storm Tracker Doppler. But when you get to the velocity product, we think that there's at least been 2, perhaps 3 touchdowns, and there may very well be more. That northern circulation now, that's the river, northern Menard County. There's Mason, Menard County. This is off in Mason County. That's Peoria television market, so we've passed coverage off to them. And hopefully it stays that way. But seeing some of these green pixels now in Petersburg, now a bit more of a concern for us in Newmansville Avenue, West Douglas Avenue, just to the west of town. We're going to watch that closely here, and I think in the next radar frame, we'll make an assessment whether we need to jump back in or not. I don't see anything imminent at this point, but it is something that's caught my eye now, very near Petersburg for some storms. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So we're going to watch that and stay on our digital platforms. Just so you know, I'm watching this area of rotation, Jalen, over Petersburg, so we're going to monitor that, and if we have to jump back in, I'd like to do that in a hurry.
We're all ready for it.
that's something that we're going to monitor and keep our eyes on here. No warning in Petersburg, but that may be the next little feature that gives us some problem. Downstream then, some weak rotation showing up north of Pleasant Plains. I mean, that's very weak, not concerning at this point. But we're going to have to watch. We're going to have to watch each of those showers pretty closely here for a little while. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reset our digital stream. And by doing that, if you're watching, it's just going to send you an update on Facebook. Give me 10 seconds. I want to reset that and talk more about the severe threat here. And then if need be, we're going to jump back on TV. We're not on TV now, are we? Okay, perfect. I see the online program now. I was like, so just making sure. Perfect. So we're going to reset the digital stream here and reset some things, give the system a quick boot.